Hi there, and welcome to the Dokeys crochet tutorial for making your very own cloud bag. My name is Haley, and I'm so excited to be crocheting with you today. To make this cloud bag, some of the stitches you will need to know are a chain, single crochet, increase, decrease, and the bobble stitch. If you are new to any of these stitches, you can find tutorials above this page or on the tutorials page of our website. All right, for this project, you will need your chunky chenille yarn. You will need a yarn needle. Optionally, you can use a stitch marker. I don't use it in the project, but I use it to help hold pieces together, for example. You'll need your crochet hook as well as a pair of scissors. All right. If you need a second to catch up, or if you are confused and need to rewind and rewatch, don't hesitate to do so. Take your time, be patient, but you've got this. All right, let's jump right in. All right, to start your cloud bag, we're gonna go ahead and grab our yarn, and we're gonna start by creating a chain of 10. So however you wanna do that, just chain 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and then with that chain 10, we're gonna start in the third chain from the hook, and we're gonna start with a bubble stitch. So to do that, you're gonna yarn over, gonna insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So you should have 2 loops on your hook, and then you're gonna repeat. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 3, and you're gonna keep going until you have 6 loops on your hook. So yarn over, 2, 4 loops, yarn over, you should have 5 loops, okay, and then once you have 6 loops, you're going to yarn over and pull through all 6 loops, and that's going to create the bubble. And then we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then another bubble stitch. The bubbles can be hard to do at first, just until you get the hang of it, but once you get the hang of it, it's super easy because you're just doing the same thing over and over again. All right, and then we're going to do another 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, all right, another bubble stitch. All right, and then we're going to do a single crochet in that last chain. All right, so you should have 3 bubbles to start the first one, for the first round, and then we're going to chain 1. And then you're going to flip the piece over, so now you're working on like the back side of the bubbles, and we're going to go back across the top for round 3. So we're going to start with 2 increases. So 1, 2, and then 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then to finish it off, we're going to do 2 increases. So 1, and then the last one goes in right there. 2. And then we're going to chain 2 to finish. And then again, you're flipping. So at the end of every round, you're flipping your piece over so that we can go, you're always working. If you're right-handed, you're working right to left. If you're left-handed, you're working left to right. All right. Round 4, we're going to start with a bubble stitch. Perfect. And then 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, another bubble stitch. And obviously once you get the hang of the bubble stitch, it's pretty easy. The motions are fairly easy, it's just making sure you get enough stitches. All right, 2 single crochets. Another bubble stitch. Two single crochets. Another bubble stitch. All right, so then for that round you should have 4 bubbles. And then we're gonna single crochet to that last one. And then we're gonna chain 1 and turn. All right, so then for row number 5, we're gonna start with 2 increases again. Two, and then 11 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then to finish off the round, do an increase. All right, chain 1 and turn. All right, or sorry, chain 2. Not 1, 2. Okay, row number 6, we're going to start with a bubble stitch. Perfect. Okay, and then 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then a bubble stitch. Two single crochets, 2 bubble stitch, two single crochets, another bubble stitch, two single crochets, bubble stitch, and 2 single crochets, you should have a total of 7, so it should go 3 bubbles, 4 bubbles, and then 7 bubbles on the last one, or 6 bubbles. So bubble stitch, perfect, and then single crochet into that last spot, and chain 1 and turn. Okay, and then for row 7, we're just doing 20 single crochets, so just all the way across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, chain 2. All right. And then for round 8, we're just repeating rounds 8 through 12. We're repeating rounds 6 and 7. So round 8 will essentially be the same as round 6. And then round 9, the same as 7. 10, the same as 6. 11, the same as 7. And so on. All right, so we're going to start round 8. So we're going to start with the bubble stitch. And then 2 single crochets. Bubble stitch. Two single crochets, bubble stitch, two single crochets, bubble stitch, two single crochets, bubble stitch, two single crochets, and bubble stitch, 2 single crochets. Alright, bubble stitch. And then 1 single crochet. And the last one, chain 1. Okay. And then round 9 is just the 20 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Let's see. And then we're going to chain 2. So 1, 2. And flip it back over. And then round 10, we're going to do the one with the bubbles again. So we're going to start with our bubble stitch. And then 2 single crochets, so 1, 2, bubble stitch. Two single crochets, so 1, 2, bubble stitch, two single crochets, bubble stitch, one, two single crochets, bubble stitch, oops, 2 single crochets. And remember, for these ones, you should have 7 bubbles each round, if that just kind of helps you keep track of where you're at. Alright, remember the last one is the one you only single crochet 1, and then you chain 1, flip, to do 20 single crochets across the back. So 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, whoa, 18, 19, 20. Go ahead, chain 2, and then the last round of this part of the bag is we are doing the row. So 12, we're going back across. We're going to start with our bubble. And then 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, bubble, two singles, bubble, two singles, bubble, two singles, bubble, 2 singles, bubble, two singles, and a bubble. Alright, now we're gonna finish off this round by just doing a slip stitch. I like to leave just a smallish yarn tail. We're not gonna use that yarn tail to sew anything on, but I just like to leave it just in case. And then there you have, this is one of the panels of the bag right here. And then we're gonna repeat this entire first one, and we're gonna make a second one just like this. I'm gonna go through it a little quicker just as we did it. So if you want a little more step-by-step instructions, you can re-watch this first one. But I'm still gonna do it with you guys. I'm just gonna go through it a little. All right, so we'll start the second half of our bag. Again, starting with our chain 10. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the third chain from the hook. Start with a bubble stitch. Then 2 single crochets. And then a bubble stitch. Two single crochets. Bubble stitch. Single crochet, chain 1, flip your piece, start with 2 increases, 5 single crochets. Two increases. Chain 2 and flip. Start with the bubble. Two singles. Bubble. It's a little tight right now. And there, okay. Two singles. Bubble stitch. Two singles. Bubble. Two singles. Bubble stitch. And then finish off the round with a single crochet and chain 1 and turn. And start with 2 increases again. One. 11 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oops, 9, 10. All right, 2 increases to finish the round off. And then chain 2, flip it over, start with a bubble. Two singles. One bubble stitch. One, 2, bubble stitch. Finish it off with a single crochet, chain 1 and turn. Okay, 20 single crochets across. Okay, chain 2. Start with a bubble. 20 single crochets. Alright, remember to slip stitch at the end, leave a small yarn tail. Alright, so for reference, you should have 6 rows of bubbles for a total of 12 rows because there's a row of single crochets in between each of them. So you should have 6 rows of bubbles that you can see, but then 12 rows. All right, and now you have both sides of the bag. So we're gonna get started on the rest of it. All right, so then for round 13, rounds 13 through 17 are actually gonna be different on both of the pieces. So choose one of the pieces to be the left side of your bag and choose one of the pieces to be the right side of your bag. And so we're gonna just pick one and start. So we're gonna start with the left side. So remember at the end of that last round, we should have chained 1. So then we're going across again. And we're going to start with 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do 3 single crochet, like 3 stitches together, so like a decrease of 3. So you're going to insert your hook into the next one, pull up a loop, insert your hook to the next one, pull up a loop, insert your hook to the next one, pull up a loop. So you should have 4 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 4. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2. And flip. And now we're going back across right here, so we're building up a little side bubbles. And we're building up the side bubbles over here on what we chose to be on the other side. So, all right, so we're gonna skip 1 stitch, and then we're gonna make a bubble. And then we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, another bubble. And then we're going to single crochet 1, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to turn again. So then round 15, we're going to start with 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then we're going to do the same 3 decrease. Chain 2, skip the first stitch, go into the second stitch with a bubble stitch, and then a single crochet, chain 1, And then just finish off with a decrease. Perfect. And then I like to just slip stitch right there. Okay. So then as you can see, we have the left side of that. So now we need to do the right side. All right. So then after you're done with the left side on the one, now we have to do the right side. So for the right side on both pieces, you're going to be attaching the yarn onto the 8th single crochet from the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to attach the yarn right in there, and I like to attach it with a knot just because it's a bag and so we need it to stay, like we need it to be sturdy, but you don't have to necessarily attach it with a knot. That's why I'm doing it on the 8th one. All right, and then you're gonna just insert it back into the 8th to pull up that loop to get started. So now you should have 7 stitches that are able to be worked in. So we're gonna start by doing our 3 decreases. So you should have the 4 loops, pull it through. Okay. And then 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to chain 2, flip it over. We're going to start with our bubble stitch. All right, and then we're going to work 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, we're going to work another bubble stitch. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet. And then we're going to chain 1. Go ahead and turn the piece around. And then start with our special 3 decrease. All right. And then 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, chain 1. Chain 2. And then we're going to skip the first stitch and go right into the second stitch to work our bubble stitch for this row. Okay, then single crochet, chain 1, flip it around, and then you should be able to work just a regular decrease in right here. And then I like to just slip knot at the end just to keep it from, again, coming undone. It's a bag, so we want it to be Alrighty, so now you should have your bag like this with the 2 little points. So this is the bottom where we have, it's just curling. All right, let's go ahead and grab the other piece and go ahead and do that. So with this one, we're gonna have to attach yarn on both ends just because we had to cut it off to do the other bag. But if you do one at a time, like do this one first, do that part, attach it here, make this whole thing do the one side and go all the way up. The left side is going to be the one that if you do it on both of them, like if you keep going, that's the one you're going to do, is the left one. So keep that in mind. So if you want to, if you cut it off like I did, you can also, if you did like a slip knot, you can undo the slip knot and still get it into this loop. And then just tie the working yarn to it. And then that way you can continue on without having to reattach the yarn. This is just, you're just continuing, so. All right, so since we did that, we're gonna go ahead and chain 1, obviously, because that's how we have to start it for this round. So then, as you're going here, we're gonna start with 5 single crochets. So 1, and again, this is the left side. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna do the 3 decrease. I don't really have a good name for it, but okay. And then chain 2, 1, 2, flip it over. And then we're gonna skip the first stitch, go into the second one to start on our bubble stitch. Okay. 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2. And now we're gonna work another bubble stitch. And then a single crochet. You should have one more left to finish off with a single crochet. There we go. Okay. Chain 1, flip it. Start with 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then our 3 decrease. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, flip. Okay, again, skipping the first stitch, go right into the second. Do a bubble stitch. And then single crochet, chain 1, flip, and then decrease. Again, I like to finish with a slip knot. Okay, now onto the right side. Again, we're gonna attach our yarn to the 8th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Attaching it to the 8th one is just gonna give us the cleanest look for what we need, instead of attaching it to the 7th and trying to go into the 7th. So attach it to the 8th. We're going to start with those 3 decreases, and then 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 2, flip it, start on a bobble. You don't have to skip any stitches for this one. Two single crochets, 1, 2, another bubble stitch, one single crochet, chain 1 and turn. Again, we're going to start with those 3 decrease, 2, 3, and then 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, chain 2, flip. Now this time we're going to skip a stitch, do the bubble in the second, and then 1 single crochet and chain 1, flip, and decrease. And slip stitch. Perfect. Okay. So now you should have both sides of the bag done. So this one should have these 2. Your other one should have these 2. And now we're ready to move on to the strap, which is fairly easy. It's just long. So you're going to start round 1, or row 1, I guess, technically, with a chain of 4. So however you want to do it. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then you're starting on the 3rd chain from the hook. You're going to start with a bubble, stitch, alright, and then single crochet, because we should still have 1 chain left. Okay, then chain 1, you're going to flip it, and then you should have 3 workable single crochets up here. So 1, 2, and then 1 over here, 3, chain 2, and turn. And that's all you're gonna do, is repeat these steps until you have 33 bubbles. If you want a longer strap, shorter strap, just adjust the number of bubbles accordingly. But that is all you're gonna do. Just over and over again. Bubble, single crochet, chain 1, turn, 3 single crochets, chain 2, turn, bubble, single crochet, chain 1, turn, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so like I said, just keep repeating those steps over and over again until you have the number of bubbles you want. I'm going to go until I have 33 bubbles. Alright, once you're done with the 33 bubbles of the strap, it'll just kind of twist just because, but straighten it out, you're fine. What I recommend doing is single crocheting them, or sewing them together. So go ahead and leave a yarn tail. And then I'm just going to attach it to a yarn needle and then just kind of flatten it out. Line it up like this. And then using the single crochets that we just did, that's how you're going to sew it together. And we want to sew it together first because then we're going to sew the two panels onto it. So we need to make sure that this is together. All right, I'm going to keep the yarn needle attached, but then you should have the little strap. And I like this part to be on the bottom so that the top of the handle looks nice and clean. And then we're going to be taking our straps and placing them on like this, or the panels. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to tie these two together. And then we're going to cut it off, and eventually we're going to weave those in, but for right now you're just going to kind of leave them there. All right, so now we have to take the yarn tails from these pieces, and if you need to make them longer, which you might need to do, just tie them in a knot like that to the rest of your working yarn. And then we're going to get quite a long piece as we prepare to sew it on. Go ahead and attach it to a yarn needle. All right, so this is where it gets kind of tricky to sew it on. So we're gonna start, and I'm just gonna start by cutting some of the other yarn tails off so we can clearly see like which ones are where, and we can see the edges a little more clearly. All right, so when I start this, I like to try and place this bubble, the middle one, right kind of where that is. And then I'm going to take a stitch marker and use it as like a safety pin. I mean, that's basically what they are. So I'm going to use it as a safety pin to hold that in place. And then I just kind of like to grab it. It's honestly kind of complicated to sew this on just to get the placement right, but you can kind of look at it as from the bottom to the top here, you should have 8 rows of bubbles, so the first 4 and then the second 4. So if you have that placed right there, you can kind of count up. I wouldn't count like just 8 bubbles because that's only going to get you there, just because it has to kind of round. So I would go like 10 or 12 bubbles. And then we're going to attach it. If sewing is not your strong suit with crochet, this project is going to be a little time consuming for you, a little tedious, but you can do it. You can make it work. But basically you're just, I find a whip stitch is the easiest. So just going in these stitches as well as the ones from the side right there. I have a knot in mine because I had to tie more yarn on, and so that's where it's getting stuck right here. But there we go. Sometimes you just have to kind of pull it a little, but the first panel is the harder one because it doesn't, the handle, like the strap doesn't have a shape yet. Once we get this sewn on, the second one gets easier because it actually has a shape. So and as you'll go, you'll kind of get into a rhythm and you'll start to figure out what stitches you need to go in and how to do it. So it'll get a little easier. That's why I was like, just be patient. You'll get it. It's just kind of hard. If you don't want to worry about, like, you don't have to worry about the placement of it as much. You can just honestly attach it and just start going. But I personally like it down there, so, or at least somewhere on the bottom of the bag. All right, I'm going to take that stitch marker out now just because I have a better, I have most of it done, so I don't necessarily need anything holding it there anymore. It's not going to move now with how much I have done. Don't worry too much about the shape of your bag right now. Just worry about getting it sewn, and then we'll reshape it when we get it sewn on. So and I like to make sure when I'm going through that I'm going through a whole stitch, not just like one front loop or back loop, just to make it a little stronger. That way it's not going to break on us. Our yarn is very strong, so if you are using our chunky chenille yarn, you will not have a problem with it breaking, but I just like to do that just to make it look nice and make sure that it's plenty strong. And that it's completely sewn shut and it's not going to have any weird like gaps besides from the bubbles. So oops. All right, so then once we finish with, oops, this first panel, because we still have so much yarn left over, I like to just bring the yarn to the inside of the handle, and then we're going to use this same yarn tail to do the other panel. But first we just got to kind of make sure that it can weave over all right. So just get it over there. All right. So now we're going to take the second one. Again, you're just going to have to kind of trim some of the yarn tails if you have like super long ones, just to kind of make sure that they stay in place. All right. And then because we know where to start, we already have this directly across from that one on this side. We're going to go ahead and start it just at the top of this one. So we're going to make sure that this slip knot is nice and tight, and then weave. I'm going to weave this yarn tail in just a couple of times before we get started. Okay. Start by attaching it at the top. All right, and then just as we did on the other side, we're just gonna whip stitch it shut. Like I said, this one will be easier because we already have like a shape. So at this point, you're just kind of following it and just sewing it shut. So it's not as complicated as the first one, which is good. Again, just making sure you're going in the right spots instead of through front loops or bubbles. We're just going through the edges. It's going to keep it looking the nicest, so One thing you'll notice about doing this pattern, whether you're using our yarn or whether you're watching this video, watching me use our yarn, you can see just how much I've been sewing, and I've been using this exact same piece of yarn. I haven't cut it, I haven't added a new one, and you can see just there's no gaps in the yarn, there's no fraying, there's a teeny bit right there, but otherwise, like, there is no fraying, and I've been just whip stitching this shut, so it's very strong, no fray. All right. Just keep going all the way around. It's honestly the most tedious part of the project, is just sewing it shut. That or actually making the strap with all those bubbles, but alright, as you near the end, just make sure that you go in the final stitches for it. And then I like to just kind of take it and loop it around. Tie it off in a little knot. And then just keeping it on the yarn needle, just weave it through a couple of times. Cut it off, and now you have your very own cloud bag. Alright, thank you so much for watching this Okey Dokeys crochet tutorial. I would love to see your guys' creations, so if you make it and post it on social media, tag us at Okey Dokeys Crochet so I can see it all. Alright, thank you.